Hi
friends, strangers, internet. My name is Emily Perfectly M. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. And I need to get ready with y'all and talk beauty community, tea, gossip, news. So this video is definitely inspired from two dear friends. Tea of Nappy Headed Jojoba does cold tea, like a whole series on her channel. It's perfect. And then my dear friend Audra also, they just went live last night when I'm filming this, blah, blah, blah. But there has been so much happening. So I wanna put on makeup while I talk to y'all. So I'm just gonna jump in. If you want information about it, you're probably not gonna get that in this video, but it's probably going to be my favorites from 2022. So keep an eye out on that video. And by probably, it is that. So my hair is drying, so that's why it's in the shirt turban, which is a brilliant way to dry your hair. So a couple of weeks ago now, it was announced that both Item Beauty and Selfless by Hiram were leaving Sephora. If you didn't know, so Selfless by Hiram who grew on TikTok. I think grew to fame really quickly on TikTok as a person with skincare opinions, I will say. Anyway, the Selfless line was skincare, and it was produced by the people that the Inky List brand. And then Item Beauty, which is Addison Rae's makeup line, or the line that she has put her name on. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, I also just woke up and I don't talk to a lot of people regularly, so these get ready with me's are oftentimes a trip. So Item Beauty and Selfless were both being dropped by Sephora. Around the same time that news came out was also when Morphe had announced bankruptcy, and so I just had this thought about I felt like there was all of these signs of kind of some beginning of the end. And I want to say this, I am not celebrating the loss of jobs for people. I'm not celebrating any of that. I have a tendency to come across probably a little bit glib, and it's not about that. I'm not happy for people losing their jobs. Am I more pleased to see people that are maybe not as worthy of attention losing some of that attention? Yeah, I'll say that. I was gonna say maybe, but the answer is yes. So at the same time, Morphe was closed all their retail stores, and the way they did that was very fucked up. But for me, it was not shocking as somebody that has seen a lot of businesses close in really fucked up ways. But I was sitting here thinking okay, I feel like this is one of those moments in time that I have been a makeup enthusiast, as I like to say. So I feel like maybe I should zoom in a little bit. My lighting feels off. It's very gray today, but we're making do. I've been a makeup enthusiast for a very long time, and I have been in this, viewer and creator space for going on 9 years. I feel like it was at least 2014 when I first started watching YouTube beauty stuff. So I'm seeing a fall that is pretty expected, a bubble bursting. But I also had a lot of feelings because I'm seeing a lot of stuff happening where creators who were solely on TikTok or have built their platform on TikTok, kind of losing some footing. And I have a lot of feelings on TikTok. Now TikTok, had helped me a lot in terms of a lot of identity things with being neurodivergent, autistic, having ADHD, my queerness, my gender. I have a lot of love for a lot of people on TikTok, but the beauty side is not for me. And it's been really interesting seeing this rise, and I have we're going to talk about Lashgate. I just wanted to kind of talk about what got me to making this video at all. and I will say this probably a lot in this video, I personally feel like the lack of connection in super short form content is a problem. And I think that a lot of people who are building longer term success and platforms on TikTok are using other tools and platforms to expand off from there. Whether they're making, Patreon or Ko-fi, or they're on Twitch, or they have their own Discord. But I think that when you are, I have felt this way for a long time. If you're a beauty creator and you're only on TikTok, y'all are trusting the wrong people. But I do think that the bubble of influencer brands is bursting or has burst. I think if the industry had just started doing collaboration, if Addison Rae had done a very extensive collaboration with Tarte, or if Grwm had actually done just a collaboration with the Inky List, not making a whole separate brand and umbrella, but just a collaboration, would make more sense. I think that REM Beauty literally should just have been a collaboration with Morphe, just a sister brand. And I know it's made by Forma, but I think that there is a difference in investment. I also think it's really funny. So around the same, when all of the news about Morphe was coming out, a lot of the conversation was how Morphe was viewing REM Beauty, or Forma Brands was viewing REM Beauty as their silver bullet. When you are investing a whole brand with a creator or influencer that doesn't give a fuck about makeup, just because they have numbers doesn't mean they have makeup numbers. I think that there's been a lot of attention put on creators and numbers, especially on TikTok, and the results aren't showing up. I think that there is a fickleness to short form content and the connections that are built between the viewer and the influencer. Parasocial relationships have a lot of power, but I personally feel like the shorter form stuff, yes, it might be more easily consumable, but I look at it as this, it's the quicker you are viewing it, a lot of times, not always, but oftentimes the quicker you fucking forget about it. Yeah, you might watch in total hours of a certain creator on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, but you're watching such short bites that you don't necessarily grasp what you're taking in. And this is not me being oh, YouTube is the only platform worth doing stuff on, because I don't believe that. I am team diversify. Seeing people that don't seem to have any passion for makeup getting makeup collabs and makeup brands never made sense to me. I am not a huge Selena fan. I'm also not a fan. I've enjoyed some of her music in the past. It could totally just be marketing, doing what marketing does. But I have to say that I believe her and Rare Beauty more than I believed Ariana. And if I'm gonna be real in terms of biases and stuff, I've listened to more Ariana Grande than I've listened to Selena Gomez. So it's not about oh, well, I like this person's music more, so I trust. No, it's but I felt like there was more intention being put into that brand than what I saw with REM. And we've seen it with how Ariana is in videos and not really knowing what I felt like there is a really important moment of realization of oh, we probably should be investing our money into either influencers and creators that are actually into makeup, or just investing it in technology and formulas. Because If the formulas were amazing, I think some of these brands might be around still, or be around longer than they're going to be. All that to say, I think the bigger picture is that in general, this bubble is bursting. We see, Morphe's in trouble, Revlon's in trouble. Beauty Bay had a huge loss in sales. Thank you to Audra for bringing that to my attention, because I did not realize it. We're in a recession or heading there, whatever the economists say. I don't fucking know. This is, I think, gonna be a big culling, just to be the depressing kind of person that I am. I think that we're going to see a lot of brands close, collapse down in size, sister or baby brands being eaten up again, like the Makeup Revolutions of the world. I think that all of their, we might see some of those brands kind of collapse in on each other, which I'm not mad about. Ever since 2020, I have truly felt that way. I felt like the bubble has burst. And while there is a lot of exciting stuff happening in the makeup world, there's also not that much exciting happening, like, I think in the real, like when you look at formulas and you look at, things that we haven't seen on the market. I think it's still happening, and I think the brands that are going to be around are pushing those parts of the industry. I'm also an old bitch, so I'm speaking from that perspective. But I feel like a lot of what TikTok has done, and even Instagram, is a lot of eyes and attention on younger money and younger influence. And that is still powerful. Kids, teenagers, young adults still do have a lot of financial impact on the market. But it kind of feels like we skewed too far into that power, and you kind of forgot about the old bitch money. Especially in the makeup world, I'm gonna say. I think in the makeup world, we kind of forgot about old bitch money. As an old bitch, seeing a lot of these brands hit the market, I really was saying okay, well, how are these different or unique to the market? What is this bringing that another brand that I already know and love is not bringing? It's not that I would never buy from an influencer brand, because I will in the future. But I'm more particular, and it's either you need to really impress me with a formula, or just capture me with your personality and actually sell to me the way an influencer could or should sell to me. I was trying to consider some kind of legitimate transition, but I cannot. But we've been talking about influencers and TikTok. Let's talk about Lashgate. Now, if you have not been paying attention, which is fucking valid, the TikTok problematic creator, look, I'm calling her TikTok's Jaclyn Hill, even though Jaclyn might be on TikTok. I have personally felt questionable about this person for a while. Audra can prove that. We have had conversations, and I did not feel super comfy with her selling for a long time. So here is the thing. TikTok is the Wild West in terms of disclosure. The FTC has not done what the FTC did to YouTube and Instagram. And I'm not 100% sure if that's because of the base, if that's because TikTok is not a US company. That could be it. I'm just not super knowledgeable. They don't have, to my knowledge, the requirements of disclosing that these other platforms do. As I have seen so many, and you know what? I haven't seen it personally because I'm not on beauty TikTok, and I'm purposely not there because it's just not for me. I don't like short form beauty content. I do enjoy beauty content. I will admit that I don't watch it as much as I used to, but it's also, because of my shopping goblin and my inability to do that in the last year especially. But I still enjoy watching it, and I enjoy making it personally, and I know, everyone's different. But TikTok never felt like that place for me. I don't know what I'm doing with my eyes, y'all. It was never a place that I really wanted to explore in the beauty stuff. That has only proven more and more correct. And I will say, I felt bitter. Yeah, you can call me bitter. It's fine. Whatever. I have the right to feel bitter. I felt bitter seeing people say, oh, TikTok beauty is where it's at. It's so honest. The reviews are so good. Look, if you want to call a 15-second product demo a review, you can. If you want to call that honest, you can. I'm not going to, though. I am not against filters, but filters are rampant on TikTok. I definitely feel some kind of way about TikTok being touted as like the place for beauty now. It's just not. You just cannot tell me that everyone on this platform is there for honest reasons, especially when you didn't have to disclose that you are raving about this eye primer because the brand gave you some money to put a video up. And did they say it had to be a positive TikTok? No. But would it make more sense for you and your affiliate codes and all of that to rave about it? Absolutely it would. Let me zoom out because I'm out of frame and it doesn't make any sense. I've had questionable feelings about the raving on a platform like TikTok. I've also had questionable feelings. I think I said this earlier in the video. If you are a beauty creator and your only video content platform is TikTok, I might have trust issues with you on that. And by might, I mean I definitely do. Oh, it's not what I meant to do. Yes, you can be honest on TikTok. You can also be honest on other platforms. You can also be fake on other platforms, and you can be fake on TikTok. Real talk, people that are raving about TikTok and comparing it to other platforms, I kind of don't really care about your opinion. Look, you can rave about it, but I think that there's something really fucking weird about being like, oh, this is inherently the better platform of all of them. They're all companies that want to make money, that want to exploit the labor of creators. Anyway, I'm spending a lot of time on TikTok, but the whole point is that like when all of this that has started to happen with Lashgate, I am not shocked. I am not surprised. If you don't know, which I would be shocked if you didn't know by the time I put this video up, there was a video that Michaela Noguera put up. It was a a TikTok stitching, that's the word, stitching somebody else that was like, oh my God, these look amazing. And she had one eye done and one eye undone, Michaela did. It was a sponsored TikTok. I did see that this was disclosed.
I looked up the TikTok. It had L'Oreal Paris partner on the screen for the first 5 seconds of the TikTok and had a few relevant hashtags. I personally perceived it as an ad, but I don't know if everyone did.
It was for this new formula of their telescopic mascara, which if you don't know, like these drugstore brands release new mascaras all the fucking time. There's a ton of different formulas of telescopic out there. There's a ton of different formulas of like all of the different varieties of mascara that like Maybelline does. A lot of times the like things that you're seeing in the drugstore, I personally believe are existing formulas that they have maybe tweaked the brush or tweaked the packaging and relaunched. Like drugstore makeup is how I got into makeup. And so like I would buy a lot of things and I watched the patterns over the years anyway. So all of that to say, Michaela does this TikTok that's like, this is life-changing, this is amazing. She shows one eye done in what, in my opinion, looks very obviously a wispy false lash. A light, maybe some clusters, but like there was definitely some volume and length at the end of the lash that was not mascara. And she applies one coat on the other eye. Does she apply a second coat? The two eyes look very obviously different. They look different. My whole thing is that like she could have just come back and been like, yes, there were some, wispies on the end of on this eye, or like, because here's the other thing. She had a TikTok. This was, to me, this was the like smoking gun moment of like, I don't know what you thought you were doing here. I believe this TikTok has been deleted, but she did a TikTok, I don't know how long ago, where she was like, this mascara is amazing. The same thing. It was one eye done, one eye not. This mascara is amazing. This is so good. And then she like pauses and she's like, you believe that, didn't you? These are falsies.
Difference in my lashes with this mascara is absolutely incredible. It truly did a phenomenal job. I mean, literally, just look at the difference. So I just lied straight to your face, and you probably believed it. These lashes, totally fake. And that's what brands do. They lie to you about how things work. Would you have known these were false lashes? Maybe not.
If I had seen it at the time, I would have been like, you know, I feel you, or like, I respect you for being like, this is what the industry does. And then like, I think she went into her lash, you know, advice or whatever. But the fact that then later on, she does the same thing is the part where I'm like, if you're gonna be a scammer, be a scammer. Just commit. And maybe that's why it's deleted, because she committed to the bit. The situation is not funny. But I thought it was funny, or it is funny to me, that there are people that are like shocked that L'Oreal is okay with that. Y'all, mascara ads have been smothered in false lashes for eternity. It was only, I want to say a couple years ago, but maybe it's been longer than that. I remember when there was a law that was passed that you had to indicate somewhere on the ad that the model is wearing false lashes, but there is no guideline on how big or small the indication needs to be. This must have been a while ago, because I remember still getting magazines at that point in time.
The law passed in 2013.
Seeing the teeny tiny print. This model's lashes are enhanced with, you know, false lashes. The thing is that a lot of the things that catch us off guard or upset us about stuff that we're seeing on TikTok is what the beauty industry has been doing forever. And it doesn't make it less alarming, but it's also, I guess for me, it is less alarming because it's what's been out there. The added layer of parasocial relationships is why, or is one of the reasons I think why it gets so, it has people more upset. First of all, people don't like seeing, people do not like seeing how the sausage is made. They don't. Even if you're a carnivore, a lot of y'all don't like to see it. I've literally seen sausage being made. It's not pretty. But like, I also still eat meat because I'm like, oh, that's how it's done. People don't like seeing how the sausage is made. And your parasocial relationship with a Michaela type of person is definitely stronger than, in my opinion, than what it was with like a Adriana Lima or Cindy Crawford or whoever you were admiring in the magazines. Even Rihanna back in the Rihanna CoverGirl days. Yes, your parasocial relationship with Rihanna might be stronger now, but what you knew about that person was so different than, say, a Michaela. So I also understand, I get the reaction in a lot of ways, because I do feel that a lot of this is just what the industry does. At the same time, I understand that what the industry does and the way parasocial relationships are today are also like that's what in my opinion makes it different. And I understand people's frustration. For me personally, I was seeing the signs with somebody like Michaela a long time ago. So the distrust or the outcry to me is also kind of like, y'all, you have to stop putting bad people on pedestals. Like, that's what a lot of this comes down to. I'm not trying to blame the victims in terms of talking about like, stop putting, bad people on a pedestal. But at the same time, I do think that when you have when you think you have this connection and you are ignoring the signs. Now, I want to add a layer to this because I'm a person that's like, I see all the different signs of... It's annoying. I'm annoying to myself. The part of it that does really that makes me mad is the fact that there are so many young people that are, you know, fans of people like Michaela. And I do think that for a lot of those younger people, the shit that she is doing or has been, you know, revealed to do is shocking because you're young and you're less aware of what's going on. There is a layer of everything that we're seeing in the TikTok space, in the beauty space. There's a layer of, I think, older adults are dismissing red flags from creators and influencers that they are parasocially connected with. They're dismissing those red flags. And at the same time, younger audiences don't know that those are red flags to be seen. They don't know they're being manipulated. They don't know they're being lied to. I am both saying, I think that viewers, just like how I've talked about in multiple videos, viewers are responsible for who they watch. And so getting all up in arms about it, but continuing to support that person with views is fucked up. And I do think that that's what's happening with the Michaela situation. I do think that there are a lot of people that are, you know, criticizing and shouting and yelling about it, but they are still watching. A hate watch is still a view. It's still dollars in their pocket. I think that's like another layer to it, where if you really are unhappy with what somebody is doing, like I've said a billion times, I'll stop watching. But in the reality of like being surprised, no, I'm not surprised. It's still fucked up, but it's not surprising. Based on the behaviors I've seen from this person, I personally think the only way to, like, I don't know, change the situation is just to stop watching. I don't think you're going to change that person. You just kind of got to stop giving that person your views. And the less view power that person has, the less dollars that they can make on things like Lashgate. So, okay, to continue talking about the TikTok stuff, because obviously I have feelings. The fact that Lashgate has brought the Jebediah stinkfishes of the world back to the surface is... oh, no thank you. So the thing that, like, so many of us that have watched or been a part of the beauty space for a long time, the thing that we keep saying is that, like, the TikTok beauty space is doing what beauty YouTube did in 2016. To see people like Jeffrey and also Kathleen Lights commenting about this, y'all were doing this shit years ago. Also, you're both terrible people at different strengths. I'm not a Kathleen Lights enjoyer. Y'all did this. You just did it back in 2016 when you didn't have to, you know, report anything. You were on this same train. And the fact that you're coming out of the woodworks being like, oh my God, I can't. Also, the fact that people are like, I'm sorry, but if you are looking for honest makeup reviews and your choice is to go back to Jebediah Stinkfish, you are not a good person. There are millions of people putting up honest reviews already on the internet, on YouTube. Do you have to dig a little more because the algorithm is not going to instantly push all of those creators? Yeah, you do. But they're out there. We are out there. So, like, the fact that people... if that's your choice, if you are one of those people that's like, oh, I know that person is absolutely fucking terrible, but their reviews are so good. If you're one of those people, goodbye. If you are an adult, pay attention to who you are watching and perhaps pay attention to the red flags. I do think that sometimes they're there and we ignore them. And I'm not saying that I am a perfect person. Also, going back to somebody like I'm going to say his actual name, if you're going back to somebody like Jeffree Star, because he's such an honest reviewer, you are making a mistake. Also, as a makeup brand owner, you should not be reviewing makeup. That alone should prove a level of dishonesty or lack of trustworthiness with that person. But kind of continuing in this theme of like, this is just how the industry is. the whole Tarte situation. So if you didn't know, Tarte recently did a brand trip to Dubai and the deserts outside of Dubai. The whole concept of doing a women's empowerment brand trip and going to Dubai and being sponsored by Dubai, it would be funny if it wasn't real. It's not funny to me. I also found it not funny how Tarte was like, oh, we're gonna do a social media post afterwards because we're so self-aware. No, you're self-aware because you got owned on the internet. That's why it's not funny. You got owned from doing that. And so now you're self-aware. It would be funny if that was like the first thing you posted. I didn't find it funny. I know some people do, some people don't. You can call me a party pooper, I don't fucking care. So there's layers to this shit. I do think that the choices were not the best. I also think that in the year of 2023, to have the focus and theme of this trip to be like women's empowerment is just wildly transphobic. There are more than just women in the beauty space. I do just think that the concept of a specifically women's empowerment influencer trip is fucking transphobic. There are so many different genders of people. So many of those people like makeup, make makeup content, and maybe want to be, reflected in what's happening in the industry. I'm not going to say that those are the kinds of people that would even ever get invited on an influencer trip, because of course they wouldn't, because that's the industry.
I want to make it abundantly clear, I do not agree with the industry being transphobic and wildly narrow-minded in who they work with, but it's still the way the industry moves, at least at this time.
And I think that's the part of the whole trip thing. Like the whole trip, I don't fucking approve of. But I also think that it's yet again an example of seeing how the sausage is made and people being really fucking upset about it. And you should be. If you're upset, be upset. But it's not shocking to me. It's gross, but not shocking. I think that there are a lot of situations that have been happening in and around spaces in spaces I'm a part of, whether it's the fat liberation space or the beauty space or anything, where people's shock surprises me more than the thing. People's shock about a thing surprises me more than the actual thing happening. And that's probably because I'm a pretty jaded person. And I'm okay with that. That's just who I am. But whenever somebody is so taken aback by the shitty behaviors or the fat phobia, the transphobia, I'm just like, yeah, that's, again, it doesn't make it right. It just doesn't surprise me. I think that a lot of people that are seeing influencer behavior and brand behavior and they feel so taken aback by it, the thing that always comes to mind is like, were you aware or okay with what the beauty and the beauty media industry was doing before? Were you okay with Allure and Elle and Glamour and whoever else, Harper's Bazaar? Were you okay with people that worked there getting taken on free trips in exchange for pieces in their magazines? Did you even know that was happening? Probably not. I didn't know that when I was, consuming those magazines. But as I've gotten older, and yes, I'm just going to do this on camera because I don't care. As I've gotten older, I say that and then feel incredibly self-conscious. Oh, please. We're going full weird. But also, all of the Tarte trip aside, all of the critiques in the transphobia and the girl bossing too close to the sun you can criticize that trip, the choice of who they brought, the topics. You can criticize all of that and not be xenophobic, not be Islamophobic. And it is xenophobic because West Asian, in case you didn't know. So like a brand like Tarte, I was not shocked to see them pull this shit. Was I like happy to see it? No, but I wasn't shocked in terms of the way I have seen them brand themselves. And there were some, I'm going to say non-women creators and influencers, because I don't know the genders of all of them, that spoke out or were speaking out about the situation. Tarte has reposted, I think, one man in the last 2.5 years, and that post was for skincare. There's just a lot of conversations about how if you are outside of the typical expectations for the beauty space, you are not getting the same access. And yes, that is very fucking true. Do I also believe that cis men in beauty can shoot to the top, and in skincare can shoot to the top a lot quicker than anyone else? Yeah. As Audra said in their live stream last night, when I'm filming this last night, you should perhaps examine your biases and wonder why you only just seem to trust cis men in the beauty space and the skincare space. Maybe examine that, perhaps. Now that my look is done, I think, there is one other thing I just wanted to touch on. Every time I wear necklaces, this happens. I hate it. I always want to be one of those necklace layering babes, and then I just look like a messy bitch. Which, I mean, I am on multiple layers. So, oh, that was a lot. Was that what I actually meant to do? No, but it happened. So towards the beginning of the video, I was talking about how we're gonna see, this is just the beginning of like the industry getting smaller. And there's a big part of that I think is going to be a big, anyway, I'm like dancing around it because I'm just like, what if I insult somebody or whatever? Too late. I'm sure it's too late. Okay, we had a battery change, a little bit of an angle change. I want you to see my jewels. I mean, not, you could see those, but not for free. I am a weird human. What I was trying to get to. So last night, I saw a video from a creator. Her name is I Am Jamila, or the channel name is I Am Jamila. I will have the video linked in the description box, and I will try to tag her channel. It was a video all about private label indie brands. And I thought it was a very insightful video and very interesting and timely because I love my indies, but I do think y'all should get prepared for some collapsing of the market. I don't want to see any of my faves go away. And if you've been around this channel, you kind of know what they are. But I do think that the market is very oversaturated and there is less innovation and uniqueness that is happening, in my opinion, with the rise of these private label indie brands. I am not anti-private label. I am not anti-made in China. I am not anti-palettes. I'm not anti any of it. But I think that if you are not approaching your indie brand with a level of artistic integrity and inspiration and like a really strong focus, I don't see those brands that don't have that sticking around. There is a lot that you can do with the power of private labeling, with the power of being able to pick different formulas and different colors from different manufacturers and creating palettes based on that and investing into the packaging design, into your branding, and into your customer fucking service. And so I just think my friend Thorn and I love Thorn so fucking much. We have been talking behind the scenes for years now about doing a live stream or something related to indie brands and professionalism or lack thereof. And it's a problem. It's a problem. And I think it's one of those things when we are looking at, let's say we're looking at the private label market, what is making and breaking my decision to buy one all shimmer multi-chrome-esque palette from another one, it's things like customer service and it's things like graphic design, palette design, branding. I know we saw, and Jamila touched on it in the video, there was an indie brand, still exists, I don't know, Ladybug Glow, which might bring me hate just saying it, but that's okay. And they revealed a palette, and the graphic design for the palette cover was, for me personally, quite lacking. And it was seen that this was a very like stock, pre-put together palette that you could find on a site like Amazon for half the price that the brand was selling it for, with different covers, so different, design feature there. But it became this big uproar. And it's interesting because, so I do think that there is a huge issue with like the amount of markup that some of these brands, some of these indie brands are putting on private label palettes. But I also think that it's the effort or perceived effort. Because when I actually started thinking about it, okay, let's say this is what that company paid for that palette. I'm not saying it is. And then they doubled the price to sell it retail. That's not wrong in the scope of what most retailer, kind of like business advice, all of that. But it's the perceived effort and the professionalism or lack thereof from the brand that I think really gave a lot of us pause. So I don't know, maybe this is a different video, maybe this is a bigger thing, but I do think there's a lot happening in the indie space that is going to shift and change over the years, maybe quicker than we think. And it's an interesting time, to say the least. Do we want just like an indie tea get ready with me soon? This was fun. It was chaotic. I don't know how this finished thing turned out. Y'all will have to let me know. I feel like I've been filming forever, so I'm going to stop here. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Definitely leave me any thoughts you have about any of the topics that I talked about today. Leave them in the comments. I would love to hear from y'all. Thank you so much to my patrons, my channel members. Y'all are truly why I'm still here doing this thing, and I appreciate you so much. Everyone can find me all over the internet at Imperfectly Am. I am here, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, still, yes. I'm kind of on TikTok, I would love for you to follow me all these places if you feel so inspired. Most importantly, take care of yourself better today than you did yesterday, because you are worth it. Bye, friends.